Where was the turning point for you?
Boy, where do you define a turning point? It's where do you find the beginning of a story? I could say maybe the turning point were some of these was the fact that I couldn't get a job after SMU and had to go to graduate school. And at graduate school, I began to lose my hair, which I thought was the end of me. I thought, I'm done. I will never play a leading role in Shakespeare again. Everything I studied for was done. I'm not going to play a romantic lead. I'm 25 years old and losing my hair. I didn't know that I was grooving my life to be a character actor at this point. Once you lose your hair early, you look the same especially if you have glasses and lose your hair, you can look the same for decades. It was at graduate school that my girlfriend decided she didn't want to be an actress anymore. She wanted to be a writer. And she ended up winning the Pulitzer Prize.
Wow.
From our detour to Illinois. So I thought maybe the best thing in life is that you don't know what you're doing. I came out to Los Angeles after that, couldn't get a job still, and began working in children's theater, doing plays about Sacagawea 3 times a day. It was the death of 1,000 cuts. Then I thought, well, maybe I'll be a rock and roll star, except I couldn't sing or play an instrument. It was torture. There was nothing. And I think a real turning point for me was I went to the Studio Arena Theater in Buffalo to do one of my girlfriend's plays, the Miss Firecracker contest. Her name was Beth Henley.
So you left LA to go all the way back to Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at this point I was massively depressed.
Right.
DEPRES. I mean, in fact, I was so depressed people didn't want to be around me. So the only thing I could do was get a job for my girlfriend. I went back to Buffalo and I did a Delmont in the Miss Firecracker contest. And the lead in our show, Catherine Grody, she felt that she wanted her agent to come see this play because it was so good. Her agent was a big shot, Jeff Hunter, who came from Manhattan to Buffalo to see the show. He saw the show on a Sunday matinee. Monday afternoon, I get a call from New York, Jeff Hunter, and says, Stephen, this is Jeff Hunter. You have an agent? I said, no, sir. He says, you do now. He says, can you come into the city? I said, well, Monday's my day. He says, come into the city next Monday. I'll take care of you. I drive in from Buffalo to Manhattan, which is not a short journey. I went in to see him. He sat down. Within a matter of a few minutes, he said, do you need a place to stay? Do you need money? Do you need a job? He set me up with about 18 interviews. He called up his associates in Los Angeles, says, I have a new client, Stephen Tobolowsky. He's going to be your client now. Jeff Hunter moved me from being an actor who was completely unknown to being in a good agency. I had a mantra when I was a student, and that was, get a job, get an agent, get a good job, get a good agent. Now, I jumped to the head of the class. I had a good agent. Now I was more likely to get a good job. I was on Broadway in 2002, and I was nominated for a Tony Award. When people say they were nominated for a Tony Award, that means they didn't win. That's what we say when we lost. So I was nominated for a Tony Award, and Annie, my wife, and I went to the Tony party, and there was Jeff Hunter, who I had not seen since, I only saw him that one time in the office.
Wow.
That one time in the office when he set me up with those auditions, and then I was back in Los Angeles with all of his associates. Never saw him the rest of my life until 2002. So I did that play to give you a time frame. I did the Miss Firecracker contest in Buffalo about 1981. Didn't see Jeff until 2002. That sounds like 21 years to me. I saw Jeff Hansen. Not Jeff. Jeff Hunter. Jeff Hansen's another important man in my life. Boy, they're all named Jeff. Wow, I'm sensing a trend. So I see Jeff Hunter at the Tony party. And I came up to him, I said, Mr. Hunter, you made such a difference to me in my life. I would not have had the career I had today. Nothing would have happened for me. I wouldn't have been in this play if it hadn't have been for you helping me out. He goes, who are you? He had no idea who I was.
Oh my gosh.
So for him, it was like manna from heaven, an absolute stranger coming up and saying, you mattered to me in my life.
Yeah.
So that was a big turning point. Jeff Hunter got me a good agent, and from then on, I was being sent out on real jobs in TV and real jobs in movies.